What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. I'm very appreciative of you. Thank you very much for stopping by once more. I appreciate you. I see you, South Africa. Greetings to Kenya. Greetings to Nigeria. Ghana, I see you. Namibia, Sudan, South Sudan. Greetings to all of you guys. Greetings to Somalia, Ethiopia, Tanzania. I appreciate you. I don't know what country I didn't say. The UK, I see you, United States, Caribbeans, we want family. Thank you for being part of this. If this is your first time, feel free to join us. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel so we can make our voice bigger. Please, everybody, let's do this. Before we start, yes, you know what this is. Let's do it. Is it done? Great. Let's go. So, a couple of days ago, we spoke about Niger. We spoke a lot about Niger lately, and I think it's very necessary that I let you know what's happening currently in Niger. For context, for those of us who don't know, Niger's president has been toppled, Mohamed Bazoum, by a group of military forces. They felt that Mohamed Bazoum was not assuming his role appropriately. He was not fighting for the rule of the people. He was rather working for Western governments, stealing and looting the country. You know how most African presidents act. So the military force in Niger decided to topple him and take power within their own hands. Niger also has been crippled by a lot of terrorists and many evil forces. So the army was tired. They had enough of it because the president apparently said, we think that the bad people have more weapons and more guns than us, and that really discouraged a lot of the army people. Obviously, you don't say such thing. You can't say that our opponents are stronger than us. You discourage everybody. Anyway, so we know the president of Nigeria has been pushing through ECOWAS to have a force going to Niger to topple the people that are in power, basically to remove the people in power and put back Mohamed Bazoum, who's the ex-president. So Nigeria, with his president, has been pushing very hard. They even gathered force to try get ready for this action. But you cannot declare war to a country without necessarily contacting Senate for that. Let's go quickly and understand. So Nigeria Tinubu seeks Senate support for ECOWAS intervention in Niger. The goal is to speak to Senate, let Senate say, okay, you can go to war, so you can go start a war. Tinubu is reportedly seeking support to intervene against the ruling military in Niger, where a coup removed the democratically elected government. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu has written a letter to his country Senate asking its member to back a regional military intervention in the neighboring Niger, where a coup toppled the democratically elected government of Mohamed Bazoum last week. Local daily, The Cable, reported on Friday that Tinubu requested for military build-up and deployment of personnel for military intervention to enforce compliance of the military junta in Niger should they remain recalcitrant. So, for those of us who don't understand, they said to the people in Niger, the new power, the new people ruling Niger, we are giving you 7 days to leave the country, 7 days to reinstate the ex-president, democratically elected Mohamed Bazoum. If within 7 days you do not do so, we're going to come and destroy. So basically they're saying they're going to come into Niger, a free country, bring military and destroy, to teach everybody a lesson. They even said it is necessary that we enforce this because we need to show to the world that we're not just dogs that bark. We actually bite when it's necessary. So ECOWAS, for those of us who don't understand, it's a group of 15 African countries, West African countries. Please just put the map here so our brothers can understand. These people in ECOWAS normally cooperate when it comes to economical things, but sometimes they decided to cooperate when it comes to military as well. So sanctions imposed in Niger by the 15 members of ECOWAS includes border closure and suspension of all financial and commercial ties with the country. The Central Bank of West African states cancelled the planned 30 billion franc or $51 million bond issuance to Niger on Monday. So they were supposed to give money to Niger. They say, you know what, because you're not, playing by the rules, you're not going to get the $51 million. Like, what is $51 million compared to people's freedom? I don't know. ECOWAS has also dispatched a delegation to Niger, headed by former Nigerian President Abdul Salami Abubakar, to negotiate with the soldiers who seized power. But the team left without meeting General Abdurrahman Chani, the coup leader. So ECOWAS, after putting pressure, let me just remind you, as they say they're going to come with guns and weapons, there's a country named Mali that said, you know what, we do not agree with you. Burkina Faso also say we do not agree with you. They say, if you dare come into Niger trying to cause trouble, you are declaring war against Mali and Burkina Faso. So they felt kind of cold, I believe, after after these people say that, then they decided to send a group of people into Niger to go and negotiate. But these people arriving at the airport, they could not even meet the leader of the coup because they know already. I mean, you don't just accept people like that. I mean, how do you know they didn't come to poison you or to do something crazy? So they returned with no negotiation. But in the meantime, the Nigerian president had been pushing for force. He's been gathering his force, his naval force, his terrestrial force, his air force to get ready for action. But he needed support coming from Senate, the Nigerian Senate. But I'm very happy this happened. The Nigerian Senate has refused to go to war. Congratulations. You see, you can't put everybody on the same box. Yes, even where people don't think anymore, there are people that still think properly and they think strong. They do not believe Nigeria should go at war against Niger because of some ego issues of some people.
I represent Abia South. Constitutional point of order, section 4A. I read, the president shall not declare a state of war between the Federation and another country except with the sanction of a resolution of both houses of the National Assembly sitting in a joint session. I believe that this is a condition precedent to section 5A.
Constitutional point of order. The reason is this. We can only note what you have just said. He has not declared war. He's only informing us and it's our business to do the needful by having a robust debate on this and then advising thereafter. And therefore this correspondence is referred to the next legislative date for proper debate by this chamber.
It makes no sense. Again, looking at Nigeria's state, still fighting against Boko Haram. They have their own issues in the country to resolve, but you want to create mayhem by going to a foreign country, to a neighboring country and go create another problem. Doesn't make sense. Props to these senators that stood very strong against the decision of the president of Nigeria. Nigeria is the largest armed force in the region and has previously contributed the most number of troops to other regional peacekeeping missions. Several Western nations have also cut aid to Niger. So basically, this is how it happens, fellas. Okay, for those of us who don't understand, it's very easy. Most of African countries that seem to be okay are usually ruled by some people that are puppets. Okay, they work for foreign governments. Usually they're colonized. You know, most African countries have colonized, except Ethiopia and Liberia. Most African countries, they were divided. If they speak English, their colonizers most likely Britain. If they speak French, the colonizers most likely France. If they speak Portuguese, you understand how it goes. And people are separated based on languages they have learned from colonizers, unfortunately. And most presidents work for those colonizers as long as you do what they ask you to do. And you supply them with the things they want. It's okay. You can stay there for 40 years as a president. Nobody is bothered by that. But if you start working for your people, if you start building for your people, if you use a leader that sees the interests of the people first, then you are the enemy. They don't like you. They call you all sort of names. You are illegal. You are a dictator. You are a lot of things. Same as Gaddafi. We're not going to get into that today. He was a person that worked very hard for his country. His people lived well. They paid no tax. Just imagine. No tax. And almost $0 to fuel, gas, or petrol, depending on how you call it. They lived in peace, but they did everything they could to throw them down, to topple him, to destroy him. They gave him name, dictator, and all that stuff. Same as Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso. He was the first president to reduce his own salary. Imagine that. An African president reducing his own salary and saying to his people from government, he said, from now, nobody's going to drive in a Mercedes or an expensive car. You're all going to use small Renault, those small things. Yeah, they didn't like that. They took him away, his own people, in collaboration with Western nations. Thank you very much, fellas. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. We want your commentary. We want to read from you. We want to know what you think about this. Do you think the Nigerian Senate did the right thing by stopping the president from creating something that was going to be disgustingly memorable? Let me know how you feel about this. Always a pleasure. God bless.